Hello everybody. Today I'm going to bring to you about Tableau filters. We're going to talk different types of filters available in Tableau, especially when we visualize and when we bring different type of data into Tableau and work on a data. So, as you know, filtering means bringing data or blocking out the data, filtering in or filtering out the data, which means we bring the data we need. Also, we can use filter to exclude as well the data or data lines we don't need in our data analysis. So if we are connected to data sources like databases, we have already filters that we use before the data even comes to Tableau. We can keep data in the database itself. Like, for example, if our data source is SQL Server, we use SQL queries to exclude some of the data using where clause or limit functionalities. We have a lot of sorts of filters, exclusions and inclusions filters in there. Once the data is in, then still we have other filters in Tableau. If our data source is a flat file like a spreadsheet or Excel, we just connect like this first. Yeah, we have a limited capacity to filter out data on flat file format because we directly connect to the whole spreadsheet. But if the spreadsheet has tabs, as we can see here, we have 3 tabs. So I only brought 1 tab, so I'm not dealing with the other 2 tabs. That's one way. But all the data from 1 tab is imported here because there is no way I can exclude this before loading. So there are things that we can do to filter out data after we brought into Tableau. This one, for example, we have brought from the EU Superstore data sample data set, which is available actually when you install Tableau public. So I brought just 1 tab from that data source. And let's say I don't need some of this data, so I don't want them to come into my next analysis pan. So the thing I can do is I use what is called data source filter. So this is called data source filter. If I filter anything here, I'm not going to see that data in my next step. So I block here. I don't have to bring it. Why is this important? One, it will reduce the space the data takes. It takes the time to process, the resource to process it. I don't need the data in my visualization. So I can keep it here. I can keep it out before even, as I said, before even come to Tableau, like with the data sources and so on. But even in Tableau, I can exclude the data area I don't want to be in my visualization, or because I don't need them there. Let's say we exclude one thing here. Let's say take a region. We have, I think, north, central, south, and is there any other thing? Okay, we have those 3. let's say we don't need nodes. We are not going to make any analysis on the nodes or any visualizations on the nodes. I can take out nodes here and then keep it out of my visualizations. The same way, let's say I don't need in subcategory, I don't need art. I'm not going to visualize it. I'm not analyze art. I can take out art, leave it here, not going to my next visualization. So I can take country, I can take any value, even in here on the measures, on the numbers. I can keep out, for example, I don't want to visualize any profit that is under 0. But I don't need them. I want to analyze the values that are profit, or let's say the other way around. I don't need the product that already profited, but I want to make my analysis on the profit that is negative or below 0. I can keep there in my here entry source, so they don't go into my visualization. That is one Tableau filter, very important one. Let's make some filters here. Excuse me. So what we do is click on add, and then again on add, and then we have all the fields that are available here. Let's say I will not need a country, one country out. Okay. So this asks me which country you want to exclude. Let's say I want to exclude Ireland. Okay. This is where we have to know. So if I keep like this, it's only Ireland going forward. Okay, and the others they're not going. This is inclusion. If I click on that, Ireland will be excluded. All the other countries will be included. This is very important to know. Okay, if you want to include only Ireland, that is what I do. Just click and I leave. If I want to exclude Ireland, I will exclude Ireland and I click OK. And then OK. When I go to next step, when I go to my visualization and I bring country here, and you can see Ireland is gone. I don't see any data related to Ireland. Okay, that is one visualization. That means because I don't need Ireland data in visualization, I just filter it out. That is the first. We can do other exclusions just like that. That is one. After the data is here, let's say we bring sale on. Okay. After the data is here, we have a lot of multiple. Sorry, I'm gonna dismantle hierarchy here. Just I only have one. After data is here, we still have lots of filter options. This is the data which we decided to work on. We can exclude more countries, as you know, or we can only bring one country or two countries. And then this is what we wanted our analysis be. So there are multiple ways to filter even our data. The filter is useful to show only the data we want to see in the visualization, or even in the analysis, or even when we view it. The most common filter in the visualization is the filters based on the features of data by which we can dissect. So here we have country as a dimension. We can use country as a filter again here by bringing, this is a filter pan. Bringing country here will give us another filter. So here, exactly the same menu we have seen earlier. We can include or exclude any country here. If I click on here, every country will be excluded. So we don't see any country. If we, let's say, exclude some of them, it's only the countries we picked will be shown. So no Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, and France. So this is another filter. Our filter could take many forms, many styles, could be across the worksheet and also on workbook as well on dashboard. So in order to use and to manipulate this filter, we right click on this or click on that downward arrow and click on show filter. That will give us this small window. This small window is directly related to this, whatever we visualize is here. So we can bring back those countries. We can take all countries, and when we want to see only few of them, we can pick whatever countries we want to show, like that. Okay, we can manipulate this small window as well. This is how we can, when we click on that downward arrow, we have a lot of different ways we can see. Single value list, when we need only one country being picked. Single value drop down, we can pick single value, and slider, we can just slide like as a slide, or we can use multiple values. Let's see one by one. So single value value list, that give us only one country. There is no way we can pick two countries. Okay, that's what it is. The same as this one. This is only also a single value. We only get one country. So this is also a single country slider. As you can see, we only pick one country. These are single values. We can use multiple countries. Okay, multiple country, any country we want. This is the same as the default we have seen. Or we can use this one as well. It's just drop down, but it's contractible. We usually use this one because of the space management. Mostly we use this one. Okay, and this one, you can just write the country you need, and then it will show up. The wild card is anything phrase you write here that matched with any of this search, with the name here, it will show up. So that's another useful features. When there is a different, when it is a single value, we normally don't need all there. So we remove all from the data. Custom, so we remove all button. Sorry, we remove all button, and then it is a single, because all is not useful anymore. So we can manipulate using. We can also bring. We can bring back the all value, and we can manipulate. We can manipulate where this value be applied to if we have different visualizations. This is only, we have only one sheet, so it only applies to that sheet. But if you have multiple sheets, we can apply that to multiple sheets. So this is very useful. So any data source relates to this data source or to all the visualizations that uses this data. This is very important in filtering out as well. So we can also edit this from here or from this as well. So editing, it could take different forms. Like there are the things that are at the top, which we can use as a filtering mechanism. Here we were using the general tab to include all, but we can use like the top 5, top 10 using some other conditions here. Okay, so here we have sales data in visualization. We can use the sum of sales data to decide something that we need top, let's say top 3, based on sum of data. So this top 3 means it is not the top 3 here, but it is the top sum, the highest value. So this is the top 1, 1, 2. Let's apply. Yep. So only the highest will be picked. So that we can make it 5 and apply that. We can use those one. The other thing we can do with filter is we can use conditions. I'm gonna back to the general. We can use any conditions like by field, by sum, when sum is equal to a number or a range or a maximum or a minimum. That's another condition we can use in filtering. Or wildcard like we have here. So anything that contains a country, Italy, or and so on, or UK or kingdom or something like that. Or we can also include that part that does not contain, and so on and so on. So we use a different conditions here to manipulate our filter. This is a very common filter that is used. And so our condition we set here still holds down here. So we need to remove that. I'm sure it is not there. Yeah, it's top 5 is there. So we put that into general. Now we don't have that anymore. We double check with the condition. There. So we need to remove that so that we can go back to our initial filter. So that is one type of filter that we have in most cases. Okay. So this doesn't need any coding at all. But sometimes we don't have to go all this to see our data. Let's change that to this visualization, and let's make that contractible and drop down. Okay. So the other thing is that we can use the same country as what's called as highlight. Highlight is where we can use the country filter to show up rather than what we have here. We just see some highlighting, and then we can highlight the visualizations that we want to see to be highlighted from others. So to do that, we use those. Okay, so this is automatically highlighted, as you can see, highlighted. It could be like this. It doesn't select like that, but if we use that one, so that's another kind of filter, isn't it? To highlight is another kind of filter that we use. So it only highlights and it subdues other. Highlight is the one we select and subdues others. A very good thing here, especially in dashboards. This will be helpful when we're presenting about a country, about these visualizations and on presentations. So we can either use the visualization itself or the what you call it, the legends themselves. Sorry. So that's it. And this is another kind of filters we have in Tableau. We can also make our filter on any other on measures. Let's see, we want to see countries by cell, but when the quantity is on a given, sum of quantities given on a given value. So we want to see the countries that at least 500. So we want to see countries at least sold 500. So we have a country that sold quantity to that level. Okay, that's only 3, 6, 9 countries. That's another exclusion. It's kind of exclusion, but in order to change this, we need to change this as well, or change this as well. We can make that range to 10,000 and apply. So we still remove some data. We can show here as well, and we can manipulate that. It's very handy for presentation, especially when we want to talk more about this. That is another filter based on measures. Okay, measure values. That's another one. It's very useful. We can also change this into the same as the values we have seen there, and we can apply it to any other thing that we have, and we can manipulate most of this here. Okay, that's another filter. Let's remove this, and there is another type of filter which we didn't create yet. We're going to talk on next video. We're going to talk about a context filter, very important. We're going to talk about action filters on worksheet and action filters on dashboard on our next visualization. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something from this. Bye bye.